minutes. I'll go first, and Ms. Miller, you're going to go for Mr. Meadows, I understand. All right. Well, let me say thank you to our witnesses first for joining us today as we look at these federal disaster recovery efforts and the status of them today and some of the problems that may have affected them and the challenges that they face. I don't have to tell you all that never before has the federal government had to respond to so many costly disasters all at the same time. You've had hurricanes Irma, Harvey, Maria, Michael, and Dorian causing catastrophic damage in the states and in the territories. And then just over this past weekend, the Dallas suburbs suffered widespread damage from a major tornado, and thousands across the South are cleaning up from that damage and debris left in the wake of Tropical Storm Nestor. We're here today because we're very interested in finding solutions to hasten and improve disaster recovery. The reality is that the federal government's resources are being stretched thin, some would say even exhausted, during a time when the rising cost of disasters show no sign of abating. FEMA continues to experience staffing challenges with most of its incident management workforce already deployed across the country. The agency, as I understand it, is several thousand workers short of its own estimated needs for current and future recovery efforts. During this time of recovery, focus needs to be on the communities struggling to rebuild in the wake of these disasters and preparing for what may come in the future. They need our help now more than ever. That's why we're here. Of particular concern are the territories, which have been battered by a series of disasters in recent years. The GAO published a study in July detailing the challenges of implementing the new Public Assistance National Delivery Model in Puerto Rico. So I look forward to hearing from Mr. Curry from GAO and from the Housing Secretary of the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico as to how we can address those and other challenges. Although additional resources are necessary, we realize that, in order to adequately respond to mounting disasters, consideration also needs to be given to the responsibilities of all levels of government, federal, state, and local stakeholders. With so many levels of government participating in disaster recovery, coordination needs to be streamlined to ensure that survivors and communities get the assistance they need as quickly and efficiently as possible. Fortunately, we have several witnesses here with us today who can speak about their experiences with disaster recovery at the state and local levels. Finally, of particular interest to me are our most vulnerable populations, specifically how our preparation for, response to, recovery from, and mitigation of disasters can be more inclusive of seniors and persons with disabilities. I also care about efforts to rescue and provide for animals in disasters. If these topics aren't covered by some of your testimony, I'll be submitting questions to that effect for the record. I now call on the ranking member, Ms. Miller, to give an opening statement.
Thank you, Chairwoman Titus. Our subcommittee's jurisdiction is expansive, covering all areas of emergency management. I want to thank the Chairwoman today for this hearing because so many communities across this nation are directly impacted by disasters and are recovering from or are still dealing with wildfires, flooding, tornadoes, and hurricanes. We have an unprecedented number of open disasters, with FEMA responding to